Welcome in, guys, to your NFL Week 5 recap. And we start off with the Thursday games, which was the Rams versus the Seahawks. It was a 0-0 in the first. Going into the second, we have a 0-7 in the second. Then a Rams and 3-7 in the second. Then we have a touchdown in the second for the Seahawks. Then Henderson for the Rams has a touchdown in the third to make it 7-7. Field goal in the fourth for the Seahawks to make it 23-17. And then we have a field goal for the Rams to make it in the fourth to make it 26-17 for the win. Going on to the Sunday games, we have the undefeated Cardinals versus Trey Lance. Yes, Trey Lance, and the undefeated Cardinals, and it was 0-7 in the first. Trey Lance had a pass incomplete in the second. 21-yard field goal to make it 0-10 in the second. And then we have a first and goal and third for the 49ers. Touchdown in the third for Samuel, and for the 49ers to make it 7-10 in the third. 47-yard for Joey in the fourth. In the fourth for a field goal to make it 10-17. And the Cardinals are 5-0. And the only team in the NFL to be undefeated. And the first time they've done that since like 1974. And I'm saying it right now, guys, I think that the Cardinals are going to be the dark horses for this year's Super Bowl. Then we have the Bills versus the Chiefs. It's Mahomes versus Trubisky. This game was 38-20. It was 0-3 in the first, 7-3 in the first, 7-10 in the second. Touchdown by Sanders in the second, make it 14-10. Then a field goal by the Bills to make it 17-10 in the second. A touchdown by Knox, who was wide open. The defense of the Chiefs was like, they fell asleep at defense, and Knox just was free of everybody to get a touchdown in the second to make it 24-10. Then 24-13 in the third. Then the Bills intercept in the third, and then it was 31-13 in the third. Touchdown to the Chiefs in the fourth, make it 31-20 in the fourth. And the Bills get a shocking win over Patrick Mahomes' Chiefs. Then we have the Packers versus the Bengals. This went into overtime. If you look at the Bengals, you look at the Packers, I know they haven't started great this season. They should have really put the Bengals to bed and just shouldn't have gone to overtime. If Crosby didn't miss a couple of field goals, this would have gone to overtime, because the Bengals have been bad this year. It was 0-7 in the first. Then A.J. Dillon has a touchdown in the second, 6-7. Then Crosby has a field goal to make it 9-7 in the second. Then Adams has a touchdown in the second to make it 16-7, 19-14 in the third. Then a touchdown by Chase in the third. Then a touchdown to make 25-22. Crosby field goal. Then we have a touchdown by Nixon in the fourth to make it 22-20, plus 2, which was 22-22, going into overtime. And the Packers win with a field goal to make it 26-22 for the win. Then we have the Browns versus the Chargers. That game was 42-47. We have Baker Mayfield gets sacked in the first to make it was 3-0 in the first, 3-7 in the first. Chargers touchdown in the second by the Browns to make it 10-7, 10-13 in the second. Touchdown by Williams in the second by 72 yards. Herbert touchdown in the second. By the Browns, make it 17-13. Going into the second half, we had 27-13 in the third. Touchdown in the fourth for the Browns, 35-27. And then going into the final quarter, which was 14-47, and the Browns lost that game. Then we have the Titans versus the Jags. We have a 7-6 going into the first, 14-6 going into the first, 14-13 in the second, touchdown by Jacob in the second, touchdown by the Titans to make it 21-13 in the second, 34-yard field goal for the Titans in the second to make it 24-13, 31 to 13 in the third, 31-19 in the fourth, and that game ended 37-19 to the Titans. Then we had the Saints versus Washington, which was 33-22, 7 in the third, 7 in the sixth, 7-13 in the second. Going into the third, we had 20-16. Going into the fourth, 26-14 in the fourth, and that game where the Saints win 33-22. Then we go to the Lions versus the Vikings. The Lions, who was away to the Vikings. It was a field goal to the Lions in the first to get 3-0. Then 3-6 in the second for the Vikings field goal, touchdown by Madison in the second. 3-13 in the second, field goal by the Lions in the third to make it 6-13. In the third, Vikings 55-yard field goal to make it 4 in the fourth, 49-yard field goal in the fourth, a 40-yard field goal for the Lions in the fourth, and a touchdown to make it 15-16 to the Lions. Then the Lions had a great comeback into the end, and then the field goal to the Vikings ended that 17-19, and the Lions are still looking for that first win. I think is it them and the Jags are still left, who haven't got a win yet this season. Then we have the Jets versus the Falcons, 20-27. 31-yard field goal in the first. A touchdown to the Eagles in the first to make it 0-3, then 0-10 in the second, 0-17 in the second. Going into the third, it was 19-20 in the third. 9-20 in the third. Then it was 15-20 in the fourth, 17-20. Then a touchdown by the Falcons in the fourth, 17-20. Then 49-yard field goal to make it 20-27 in the fourth, and the Falcons won. Then we have the Eagles versus the Panthers, 21-18. 0-3 in the first, 48-yard field goal in the first. Jake Elliott got a field goal in the first to make it 3-3 in the first. Touchdown by Treble in the first to make it 3-10. 43-yard field goal in the second to make it 3-13. On the second, a touchdown by Jalen Hunt in the third to make it 13-15. Jake Elliott got a second field goal for Jake Hunt, and he got Jake Elliott got his second field goal in the second to make it 6-15, 13-18 in the fourth, and then Jalen Hunt got a second touchdown in the fourth to make it 21-18 to the Eagles. Then we have the Jags versus the Cowboys, 44-20. 54-yard missed field goal for the Giants in the first, 0-3, then a touchdown by Lamb in the second to make it 0-9, and 0-10 in the second, a touchdown in the second for the Giants to make it 10-10. Then a field goal for the Giants to make it in the third to make it 13-7. Then touchdown to make it in the fourth to make it 13-34 in the fourth. Then Giants for a touchdown in the fourth to make it 20-34. Then they had the 2 points and 20-37. And Brown got a touchdown to make it 44-20. Then we had the Broncos versus the Steelers, 19-27. 0-7 in the first, touchdown by Jackson in the first, 39-yard field goal by Broncos to make it 37-7 in the first, 3-10 in the second, 3-10 in the second. Yeah, I said that twice. What the hell? 3-2 in the second. In the second. Oh, 3-10 in the second with a 48-yard field goal. I don't know why I said that like twice. I said like whatever. Anyway, they had a 48-yard field goal in the second to make it 3-10. Then the Broncos had a field goal in the second to make it 6-10. Then Harrison had a touchdown to make 6-17 in the second. Going to the second half, we had a touchdown in the fourth to make it 13-24, and Sutton had a touchdown to make it 19-24, and 19-27 or a field goal. Then we had the Dolphins versus Tom Brady's Buccaneers, 17-45, 3-6 in the first, 3-7. Then touchdown by Bernard in the first, touchdown by Gaskin in the first, 10-7. First in the field goal. Brown touchdown in the second, 10-17 in the second, touchdown by Brown again to make it 10-24, and then touchdown in the third to make it 17-24 in the third, touchdown the Bucks to make it 17-38 in the fourth, and that was 45-17 to the Bucks. Then we had the Patriots versus the Texans, 25-22. Yeah, 22. We started with 0-6. Then the touchdown to make it 6-6 for the Pats, 6-12 in the second, 6-15 in the second. Touchdown by the Texans to make it 9-22 in the third. Field goal for the Pats in the third, 12-22 in the third, 15-22 in the third, and the game ended 25-22 to the Patriots. The Bears versus the Rams. That game ended 20-9. Justin Fields ran 111 yards in this game. The Rams started at 0-3 in the first, touchdown by the Bears to make it 7-3. Then touchdown by the Rams. I said the Rams. The Raiders. Sorry guys, I'm doing this late at night, so apologies guys. The Raiders versus the Bears, and the Raiders was 3-0 and stuff like that. 31 yards field goal by the Raiders. Then we have a Williams touchdown for the Bears to make it 14-3 in a second. Then the game ended 20-9, and that was it for that game. Also in the game, the Raiders coach got fired. I will talk about that in a separate video. I'm not going to talk about it in this video, but I'm going to make a separate video after this talking about that whole thing. Then we go on to the Monday game, last night's game. Ravens versus the Colts, 25-31. The Ravens start with a 0-7 in the first with a touchdown by Taylor. 27-yard field goal for the Ravens in the second, make it 3-7 in the second. Then a field goal for the Colts in the second, make it 7-10 in the second. Then going into the second half, 3-16 in the third. Pippen makes a touchdown for the Colts in the second. Wentz touchdown in the third. Interception from the Ravens in the third. Then going to we went into overtime in this game. This was another game that went into overtime, 25-31 to the Ravens. The Ravens had they had a kind of a slow start to this game, but they got it up to 25-31. So leave your guys' thoughts, guys, in the comments. What do you guys think of this week's NFL recap? Leave your guys' thoughts in the comments, and peace.